Here we are. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. We've got some dancing going on in the studio. Did you see that, Zach?
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, the show has never started so lively.
Hot moves on mic 2, yes.
That's right. Well, we are glad to be here, and this is the show where we talk about the good news of DFW and always about real estate and what's going on and what is driving this market. And I don't care what you say or who you're talking to, it is still a great market here in DFW.
Absolutely.
And I have a great guest with us today, and I'm excited to introduce him. Robert White. He is the business development guy for Integrity Group Commercial. Robert, how are you doing? And thanks for being on.
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Zach.
So, Robert, we met at the Dallas Real Estate Ministries luncheon, and we've seen each other quite a bit since then.
I've seen too much of you right
Yeah,
now.
that's right. That's right. Well, I'm glad you were able to suffer through one more 30 minutes, but
I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're here. So, I've never talked about DREM before on the show, but, since that's where we met, and I'm new in the organization, but since this is a real estate show, would you tell us a little bit about DREM and what they're doing there and why that's a good organization and why we need to get some more members?
Absolutely. Dallas Real Estate Ministry. It's a wonderful place for Christian believers to get together. We have a teaching once a month in a lunch. But what's really cool about it, it's all people in the commercial real estate industry. It's everyone from developers, commercial real estate brokers, residential real estate agents, investment bankers, construction guys across the board.
Everybody.
And they all get together every month and spend time together,
Little
listen to
fellowship,
teaching,
yeah.
fellowship, and networking. And it's a great venue to put people together that are equally yoked in the industry.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And we'll link to it on the Facebook page. But it's DREM. Is it DREM.org?
It's DREM.org. DREM.
DREM.org. So check that out. But I've enjoyed the lunches and the big fundraiser we had in October.
Oh, that was great.
That was great. And June Hunt, what a speaker she was.
When she got the guitar out at the end and started playing and worshiping, it was amazing.
It really made you think about your own talent level, didn't it?
Absolutely, or their lack of it.
Lack of talent, exactly.
Right.
Well, that was kind of off the cuff on DREM, but I just thought this would be a good spot to mention it, and I've enjoyed the relationships that I've built from there in the short period of time. So if you're listening out there and that's something that speaks to you, check out the website and come join us for a lunch. What do you think?
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Robert, you're with the Integrity Group's business development on the commercial side. So, how long have you been in real estate? How did you get into it?
So, I come out of a 27-year career in the IT management consulting field. I've been in commercial real estate full-time since 2006.
Okay.
Just started brokering multifamily deals,
Best time to get into it, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was one of the best, right. One of the
That's
best
when
times.
I got into the real estate business, was 2006.
But I spent, starting at a down market like that, you learn a lot. You learn how to, really be scrappy into the industry and find the deals.
Sure, and keeps your expectations low at the beginning, which is good.
Very low, yeah. Stressful, but very low.
Sure.
So I've been in it a long time. Did brokerage for a long time, started doing some development, structuring deals, putting capital stacks together, and then ended up at Integrity Group about a year and a half ago.
Well, that's exciting. And tell us about Integrity Group.
So Integrity Group is a commercial real estate developer, and we own a construction company, so we're general contractors. So Integrity Group is a developer. We're the developers, the master developers that are doing the Roanoke City Center project as an example. We've got...
That's a great project, by the way. That one's close to home for me, as you know.
Absolutely, and it's we've got multifamily going in there. We've got townhomes. We've got over 100,000 foot of retail, restaurant, office, and entertainment venue. We've got a major hotel coming here, soon to be announced.
Soon to be announced.
A major hotel coming into that city center project.
Yeah, y'all announced it on your website. It had the name on there, but we won't mention it.
Did not know that.
They'll have to go to the website. What's the website?
IntegrityGroups.com.
Groups with an S.
With an S.
Yes, .com. So check it out there. Well, so tell us about Integrity Group and the developments that y'all are doing, and what do you like about development?
We like the whole aspects of development. We come out of the construction side of the business. The founders of the company were originally general contractors and construction guys. They were building homes, custom homes. They were building pretty much anything out there that they could get a hold of. And then over a period of time, they decided to start acquiring property, putting structure together, working with cities, and putting retail centers together, medical office buildings.
Sure.
We're small enough where if the math works and it's within our capabilities, we'll probably take on a development project.
Right. So you're not boxed into one formula. Y'all can look at others.
Absolutely. We're also general contractors. We formed the general contracting company to be construction guys really for our own projects. But what's happened over the last 5 years is other developers have gotten wind of that, and now they're hiring us to bid on being their GC for their projects.
That's the problem when you do good work, right? Other people want you to do work for them.
Absolutely. Success breeds success.
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting, and thanks for telling us about that. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, I want to hear a little bit more about some of y'all's projects and just what you think's going on in the market.
You got it.
This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. We'll be right back. Now I like this. This is punk rock 3.
This is air raid metal. That's
Air
what
raid
I got.
metal.
Metal. There you go.
Where's Heavy 2? That's the one I like.
I can play heavy too. I'll come back with heavy.
We'll come back with Heavy 2.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, they're playing at the unannounced new facility in Roanoke Center next week.
Nice.
Yes, live. Metal 2
On dirt.
Yeah, come see them. So Robert, we were talking on the break a little bit about the market, and so let me tell you what I'm hearing. You tell me what you're hearing, and then we'll get out the crystal ball after that, right? So in September, residential kind of drives everything. What it starts doing kind of trickles down, and so the residential market started slowing in September, and then everybody is freaking out. The Dallas Morning News, the Dallas Morning News is already writing headlines that drive me nuts. So. What's your opinion? What's going on out there? We've seen a little bit of a slowdown in some areas. Do you think that's something to be alarmed about, or are you like me, the eternal optimist that thinks Texas is just going strong and we're about to hit another stride?
Well, we're the eternal optimist. We think it's going in stride. Lots of jobs coming down here. They can't build houses fast enough.
No.
Multifamily, I do get a sense that multifamily is slowing down just a little bit up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for the Class A because there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it'll catch back up as more of the jobs start coming down here with some of the major corporations. But we're the internal optimist. But you still don't know.
Sure, you never do, right?
I mean, if something happened, the economy tanked, and some of these large corporations decide not to come down, that changes things. But I don't think that's going to happen. It'd
take a pretty serious something to happen to stop what's going on right now.
I agree with that. I think that if in Texas is going to be the last one in the country to start slowing down.
Yeah.
If
it
everything
would be the
else,
same, it'd be last in, first out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If everything else starts slowing down, we'll be the last to start slowing down.
Absolutely.
We've got a hot economy. We've got a hot economy, and our leaders understand business. They understand what drives business, and that's jobs.
Most of them do, at least.
Well, enough to help.
Yeah, exactly. So with Integrity, what are y'all looking for when y'all are, surveying the area or where y'all want to invest or develop? Like, what's the barometer that drives y'all? What are y'all looking for?
So we typically like markets that are outside of the Metroplex a little bit, like the Roanoke project.
Sure.
We're interested in looking at things up in Prosper, Salina. We've got a brand new project we just started breaking ground on out in Rockwall.
Okay,
so
nice.
we like some of those markets that are on the outside where the growth is coming to be kind of early in.
Sure. Now, do y'all buy land way ahead of time, or are y'all always looking for land?
We're always looking for land. We'll take land down, write a check, move on down the road. But we work with a lot of landowners, and they put their land into our deals at a nice cost basis because they get a nice return over a long period of time. They get nice cash flow out of that.
That's interesting. So let's talk about that. For in the terms of like a normal consumer, or maybe somebody that's out there that's inherited some land and they don't know what to do with it. Like how does somebody work with a group like you, or what's the benefit for them working with a group like you?
Well, we've got a track record. Long-term track record. We have a 10 or 15-year track record of doing this.
Right.
We've got great references with landowners that have put land into deals with us.
Will you give us like a scenario where that happened, like an example of how a landowner and y'all got together and what y'all did?
Usually it's a friend of a friend has introduced us to a landowner.
Right.
And we just go sit down and talk to them about, what would they like to accomplish with this piece of land? Do they want to develop it? Do they want to sell it? How do you want to monetize it?
Right.
And that's how we start. That's how we start the process. And if
so, those are kind of the options they have. They can develop it themselves, which most
they're
people
not going to
don't
do
know how to
because they don't
do.
know exactly.
Right, or they're just going to basically ruin what they had. So, and unless they've done that before, right? Or they could sell it.
Yes.
And then the third one, which we've talked a lot about, is they could joint venture with a group like yours, right?
That's right. And they put it into the deal. They own part of the deal with us. They're sharing in the profits. And they get a nice return over a long period of time. And the land values increase exponentially over that period of time as we're increasing the value of the land because we're improving the land.
So when the landowner puts their land into the deal with you, right? They put the land in as equity. Does that mean that now you, the landowner and the group, now own that land together? Is that how that kind of works?
Yeah, so it goes into a partnership.
Right.
I mean, on every deal, we're forming some kind of a new partnership or an LLC, and it all goes in together. And depending on the cost basis of the land,
right,
that's the percentage of equity that they own in that particular development with us.
Interesting. Okay, so for somebody out there that might be hearing this, or this could be something that's going on, in their world, what do they need to watch out for? Because I'm sure there's developers that try to do this with landowners that maybe a landowner shouldn't be getting involved in. So how does somebody who doesn't really know the business vet out a group that might be asking them to JV on a project?
I would. They need to have a track record.
Right.
They need to have a track record that's of success over a long period of time. It takes a long time to take a piece of land and actually, before you even break ground, it might be 2 years or 3 years. So they need to have a long-term track record of success of developing. The other thing, they need to be writing checks too.
The landowner or
the developer?
The developer.
So, we put money. Now, whether that's, 5%, 10, 20, it kind of depends on the deal, but that's a big gauge right there. If you get a developer that wants to joint venture with a landowner and the landowner's got a piece of property that's worth a lot of money, and the developer's not willing to write a check,
they don't have any skin in the game, right?
Or cover the soft costs, which could typically be, civil engineering, things like that could be typically $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. They're not willing to pay for that.
And those are costs that you could spend and it's gone.
And
if
it's
the deal
gone.
doesn't work.
Exactly.
Right?
But if the point is, if the developer's not willing to put money into it, either through paying for soft cost or just putting money into the deal, I'd be real careful as a landowner.
That's a red flag.
It's a gigantic red flag.
That's interesting. I think that's good information because that has to be going on out there, and people don't know what they don't know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the last segment. Robert, I really appreciate you being on the show with us today. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Samson. This sounds like Aussie. Or is this copyright infringement? What's going on here?
No,
It's Hair
that's not
2.
what this is.
It's
no,
Hair 2.
it's not Aussie.
Hair 2?
Definitely not Aussie.
Metal 2.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on, baby.
They're my third
You should have
favorite.
known.
Yeah, I should have known that.
Yeah.
I was listening to that all night last night.
That's great.
Robert, Thanks for staying on with us and for the last segment. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. Robert, we were talking in the break, and this is this show is not only informing people about the good things and positive things that are going around about here, but also we kind of want to be consumer driven. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people they invest in the stock market, or they've got their company 401k and these kinds of things. And I think a lot of people are interested in real estate. They want to know, hey, how can I get in the real estate business? Can I invest in real estate? Do I have to have licenses to do these kinds of things? And I think probably the number one thing people, outside of the business do when they start investing is they probably do it on the residential side. But what if, can anybody invest in commercial real estate? And if you were going to do that or advise somebody, how would somebody get involved into putting money into real estate and kind of diversifying how they're, saving their money for the future or investing in their money for the future?
Good question. If I were talking to somebody that wanted to, residential is a whole different world.
Sure.
It's
an emotional world.
It's an emotional world. That's why I don't do residential. It's an emotional world. But on the commercial side, it's all about math and numbers. That's
sure.
it. Nothing else. If I were going to advise somebody that has never looked at investing in commercial real estate but had some money to invest and they didn't want to put it in REITs and things like that,
right?
It's talking to people that finding developers like ourselves, and we have investors. We have equity investors that put money in our deals.
So y'all raise money on the side.
We raise money,
right.
Equity money, along with our money to put into deals.
That's perfect. Let's talk about that for a minute, because we know what developers are doing when they're raising money. But what is the in layman's terms, what does that mean? What is a developer doing when they're raising money from individuals, and how does that work?
Depends on the developer. We usually deal with high net worth individuals. They write some pretty big checks that put money into our deals, and then we put the structure around that.
Right.
If you were, which is most people, if you have the ability to write a check for $5,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, a good way to do that is there's a lot of developers out there. They're doing smaller projects in I'm talking about the $500,000 project or $1 million
they're doing
project.
A little retail strip,
or a medical office building.
You kind of got to start small though, anyways, right? Before you can get big. Most people don't just go big.
Right, exactly. And it's finding those guys that are putting those kind of offering memorandums together, and it's a challenge, to be very candid about it. It's a challenge for the individual, the normal person that's out there that's got money to go find those right developers. There's a lot of investment communities and clubs in the DFW area that have been formed. Getting involved with them is a great way to do it. Go get 10 of your best friends that want to invest $5,000 or $10,000. Put them together, and then go out there and start talking to people that are doing stuff. Talk to developers. Talk to general contractors. Have a great pulse on the industry out here. A lot of them,
and they know
of who's doing what,
too,
and
right.
They know people, and they can go. Yeah, this is a good developer. He pays his bills.
They see the backside of the business, right?
Yes, that's right. They see the nasty side of the business. To be frank about it.
Yeah, you're driving down the road past a project. You think it looks good, but the GC can tell you if it's a mess or not.
That's right, and that's why we're general contractors as well. So we're constantly looking for general contracting things to bid on. But we started that because that's a whole different animal,
right?
And it started to be for most to work on our own projects. Now we do it for others.
Interesting. So it sounds like talk to a lot of people, ask
Absolutely.
a lot of questions, read some books, maybe.
Go to Dream.
Go to
Dream. Go to Dream. That's we got a lot of people that go to Dream that are in that exact position. They're high net worth individuals. They have the ability. They want to start doing some kind of investing. And there's a lot of people they can get information from.
Well, I tell you what, if I was going to go to an organization of people and potentially put my money with them, I think Dream is probably a good group of people to go talk to first. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Well, Robert, I think that's some great information, and I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
I hope you'll come back and we can talk more about this project as y'all have more to announce, because I think this one's going to kind of keep going for a little while, right?
We got 2 or 3 more years on that project.
Absolutely. So if you want to learn more about Robert and the Integrity Groups, you can go to integritygroups.com.
That's it.
Robert, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Zach.
This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. We'll see you soon. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the podcast and listening today. I want to give a special thanks to Kensington Vanguard National Title of Texas. The show is sponsored by them, and Kensington Vanguard is a national title company with local people working here in Dallas-Fort Worth, specializing in commercial title insurance and residential title insurance. Kensington Vanguard will handle your escrow needs as well as your title insurance and your closing services. So you can go to the website at www.kv-lonestar.com to find our locations and our contact information. And we appreciate you using Kensington Vanguard National Title of Texas. We look forward to seeing you next week, where we will be talking about solar energy in the residential and commercial spaces. And we are really excited to hear about that. Something I wanted to know about, so I'm really excited to hear more about how that works. So we'll catch you next time on Working Title with Zach Sams. Thank you.
You're listening to RMCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.